Hey there, everyone. So now I'm going to teach you how to find the slope of a line. Before I even get into any numbers, though, I just want to make sure you have sort of a feel for it. So the slope of a line is a number, and it just tells you how steep the line is. So watch this. If I have some graph here, and I have line A here, and then I have line B here, can you tell B is steeper than A? So that means B will have a higher slope, a bigger number than A will. You can also have, these are both positive slopes because as you move this way, like just the direction you're reading, they're going up. Like you're going up the hill. So they're positive. They'd be positive, like positive 7 and positive 2. You can also have negative slopes. So if you have something that looks like this, as you move from left to right here, can you tell you're going down the hill instead? So this would have a negative slope, like -2 or -5 or whatever. Can you guess what a zero slope line would look like? Well, if this is positive up the hill and this is negative down the hill, perfectly horizontal will actually end up being a slope of 0. It's not steep at all, right? Just perfectly flat. So that is what slope means. It just is a measure of the steepness of a line. So let me tell you how mathematicians figured out how to put that number together, okay? So I have a table here for a line, and I'm wondering what the slope of that line is. So we learned in class there is a formula for this. If you need the slope of a line, usually people call slope m. It's just this. Y is on top, x is on bottom. Now, you might be like, wait, I don't know, what do those mean? They're just 2 points on the line. You can choose any, like, I have 3. You could choose these 2 points, you could choose these 2 points, you could choose these 2 points. You're always going to get the same answer for a line. So what do these mean? Just pick one of these points and call it your first point. Like, let's say, okay, this will be my first point, this will be my second point, okay? Then let's call this one, since it's the first point, let's have this guy right here be x1, and this guy here be y1. And then, since this is my second point, instead of x1, I'm going to call it x2 and y2. And then, you just have to plug and chug into this formula. So my y2 is a 4, so I put a 4 there. I have a minus sign, so I put a minus sign. y1 is just 2. Fraction line, fraction line. x2 is 3. Minus sign, minus sign. x1 is 0. Can you see the number taking shape now? Like I have to do some arithmetic, but 4 minus 2 is 2. 3 minus 0 is 3. Turns out that the slope for this line is 2/3. If you like that as a decimal instead, that's fine. 2 divided by 3 is roughly 0.0667, okay? Either one of those is fine. Now, it might help you to sort of like see what this line actually looks like. Like, we can tell it has a positive slope. It should be going up the hill, right? But so we can do that. Let me just like quickly sketch a graph here. I've got a little corner here. So let's go 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. So over 0 and up 2, bam. Over 3 and up 4, bam. Over 6 and up 6, bam. And then, bam. Can you tell that all of my points are on a line? So the slope of this line is 0.66, or 2/3. Okay? That's how you figure out a slope. It's kind of a nice gut check to see if you have, if you end up with a positive slope, your line should be going up the hill, right, rather than down. If we had graphed it and had been, anyway, we got down the hill, we'd know that we made some mistake over here because it should be a negative slope then. Okay. Now, sometimes the tables won't be written in columns like this. Sometimes they'll be written in rows. That's fine. Check it out. Let's just do that to make sure you're not confused. X, Y, and I'm just going to make something up here. 5, 8, 11, 14, and then let's go 10, 6, oops, let's make that a 2, negative 2. In this case, you still need your 2 points, and I don't care which 2 you choose. You'll always get the same answer with the line. So I'll just keep it simple and choose my first 2 points. So this time, though, you have to sort of think of it like this. Let's have this be the first point, and then this be the second point, okay? You have to think about it because we've oriented it differently. So the first point is 5, 10, so I'll call that my x1 and my y1. Second point is going to be x2 and y2. After that, it is exactly the same. You just do your formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So our y2 here is a 6, minus sign, y1 is 10, fraction line, fraction. x2 is 8, minus sign, and x1 is a 5. And so again, you can see the number taking shape. All you need to do is some arithmetic. This is going to be negative 4 over positive 3. Or if you do the decimal version of that, it's negative 1.33. Okay? And you can tell that this one is going to have a downward slope now, right? Because it's negative. And for those of you that are good at graphing, you can probably see, oh, look at your y's are decreasing as your x's are increasing. So you will end up with a downward sloping line. Look, that is how to find the number for slope, okay? If you're ready for it, I can actually just tell you one other thing. Like, I haven't told you anything about what this number means. Like, what does it tell you about the line other than the positive or negative part of it? So if you're ready for it, and this is like, you don't have to get this, but I think you probably could. This tells you how the y is changing as x goes up by 1. What do I mean by that? So like, whatever. So let's say we're at 5, 10. So over 5 and up 10. Okay? And then let's say this is 6. So we know that this point is right here. How could we get where the line is when x is 6? The slope will tell you. Because the slope tells you, hey, as your x goes up by 1, your y is going to be dropping, in this case, by 1.33. So that means as my x goes up by 1, beep, 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 I'm going to have to, here, let me put in some, I know this is completely not in, this is not to scale at all, but just so you can see it. If I need the point where, on the line where x is 6, I would have to drop 1.33. So here's 1, and then down a little bit more for 1.33. That's where my line would end up at. If I did it again, let's go to 7, I would drop another 1.33. So bam, and then maybe like down to about here. And if you do that perfectly, which I definitely haven't done, you'd have to be able to fill in all those dots. So, recap. Slope is a measure of steepness. Just a number that tells you the steepness. Positive slope means you're going uphill. Zero slope, and then a negative slope means you're going downhill. The slope formula, you just need 2 points. And there it is. There is the slope formula. And then, if you want to know what that number actually means, besides for just steepness, it actually tells you how does the y change as x goes up by 1.